Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Operate out of your dreams and your vision and not other people's expectation. Having breast cancer wasn't my choice, but the decision to live healthy so that I could stand before you here today, that's choice. You can choose this very moment to change your life from every perspective.
Tracy Randolph was our speaker. She came back because so many people liked her first presentation. I was one of those people that joined her fitness group, and it made me a better leader.
I grew up in a community, but they had limiting beliefs on what a little black girl could do. Everything that you do in this life is a choice. I choose to live healthy. I choose to change my mindset. I choose to be everything that I dreamed of because I choose faith and I choose me. Live healthy, be everything that you can be today. Choose yourself.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Whole Living Show. Can you all hear me well? Because I can't hear a thing. I was not hearing my introduction. I don't know why. Technology just likes to challenge us. On this International Women's Day, we are not going to let things happen this way. So what I'm going to do is I want to have this video queued up because it is Women's History Month and it is International Women's Day. So we want to celebrate women, all of the beautiful, amazing women that are out there being wives and mothers and daughters and sisters and friends and boss lady, business owners, career women. We want to celebrate you for all the many roles that you play in this life. But we also want to tell you, as you are playing all of these roles, to make sure that you also take a look at yourself, that you value yourself, that you remember who you are in all of this, and do something worthwhile for you. So I want to cue up this video, and let me see if I can hear it.
Okay, next one. Sit down.
And I cannot. So I'm going to go out.
This is what it looks like to be exceptional, to stand out from the crowd, to make history. But what if women didn't have to be exceptional? What if they didn't have to be the first, the best, or the only woman? What if being a female engineer wasn't remarkable? What if women and men could compete as equals? I don't want to make history. I don't want to be the only woman. I want to be one of many.
And I still cannot hear. Well, everybody out there, we're going to see what's going on here. But we have an amazing guest. But I wanted to talk about that video for a moment because I just thought it was so important to talk about how important women are and how far we've come, but how far we still have to go when it comes to the equality of women in the workplace, just in life in general, in business, when it comes to respect, as women, as, bosses, as entrepreneurs, as, intelligent people for that matter. I love the historical shows. I was watching a show called Nightfall on Netflix, and it's about the Knights Templar, right? So it is a historical show back in time. And, women just were not respected at all. They didn't really have a position, right? They were there to bear children. And that was pretty much it. Cook for their men and bear children, or they were nuns. There wasn't much that they showed about the women's role, in society back then. And, I love watching those shows because I like looking at a bit of history that has a little drama to it as well. And some of them are, based on truth, and some of them are made for TV. However, a lot of the depictions are very real. And the depiction of the way the woman was treated and even seen or not seen is what I should say, right? Because they really weren't seen. It was just so key, this video where they have these young girls talking about what if we didn't have to worry about being the first? What if we didn't have to fight basically for a position as engineers, as doctors, as lawyers, as entrepreneurs, as women that should be seen for our own power? So I just thought that was huge, and it's very important to play, especially on this International Women's Day. So I want to introduce you all to the amazing woman that is waiting backstage. And as it goes, I've been meeting so many amazing, heart-centered, beautiful people on Clubhouse. And this lady I have also met on Clubhouse, but she is a quite powerful young woman, and she has an amazing story as well. So I want to tell you about the beautiful Kay Flowerz. She is a poet, author, speaker, certified life coach, entrepreneur as well. She is a wife to an amazing husband and a mother to her beautiful daughter. Her vision is to help women worldwide turn their pain into purpose by using their voice and sharing their stories. And, what better day for her to be here when she is so focused on helping women, but on International Women's Day. She is the author of the book, The Psalms of Flowerz, a collection of poems, prayers, and affirmations. She loves God and has found power in allowing God to show her worth. And this is what we're talking about today, her purpose, and propel her into her destiny. Her mission is to help women manifest their dream life through personalized affirmations and aligned action. And I love that she added the action there. So it's not just affirming yourself, it's putting the action behind it. To live your dream, life simply means to live with passion and purpose, knowing that you are loved and that someone in this world needs you. As someone who's had experiences with trauma and depression, she demonstrates to people that their past does not have to determine their future. She is the host of the Journey with Flowers podcast, which you will have to make sure that you tune into, where she shares affirmations on various topics that have helped her on her journey to support her personal growth and her journey to others. She has a heart of gold to serve and uplift others. And she's not just saying that. I happen to know her and have been in her spaces, and she really is this way. She has a beautiful heart, everybody, which you will see exemplified right here on the Whole Living Show when she comes on. And I want everybody out there to give her a virtual round of applause. Let's go.
Hello, hello.
I can hear you. Amazing. Hello. So glad
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I am so glad that you are here. And it's about time, right?
Right.
I
know the time oh my gosh, I've been looking forward to this day and this conversation with you. So I'm super excited to be here.
Yes, I'm so glad that you are here. So I have to ask you what you thought about that video.
Yeah, I think it's so amazing, like just being reminded, like, hey, like we all are somebody that could be that woman, to make that difference in the world. So I thought that was, pretty amazing.
Yeah. And I love that they had the kids do it. I love that it was
Right.
children, it was young girls who were just showing that, we matter and that, we're here and we shouldn't be treated any different. But I want you to start talking about, kind of your backstory, what led, the why behind everything that you're currently doing before we get into what you're currently doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So the reason just with everything with this, especially with sharing my story and, just helping women, I was a young girl who always aspired to be, do something impactful in the world. And so just having different inspiring women to look up to, and despite like what I was going through at the time, I knew like that I would be able to, like, I knew that no matter what my journey looked like, I knew where I wanted to be, and so my why is like to inspire that same person who feels like whatever it is they're in their life right now that they're going through, and it seems like really hard, like that they can push past that and keep going and make it out. And so really just to inspire women, that, hey, it doesn't matter how you started, it's how you finish. And, you can rewrite your story at any time. So that's really what is my why behind it. Like really just being able to push people, turning their pain into their purpose is exactly, what helps us.
I love that. And I love that you said in there when you were speaking about it, no matter what the journey looks like, right? I love that you said that because there are turns, right? There are pivots that have to happen. You're throwing some curveballs, and it's not always a straight path to get to where you want to go. But just knowing that, your life matters, that you're valued, that you have a purpose, that your past trauma is even as meaningful as, your current goals, right? To get you to where you need to be. And I love that you talked about pain into purpose. So talk a little bit more about, what that means, being able to turn your pain into purpose.
Yeah. So, and sorry, I do have just like a cough drop just because my throat is a little dry, but nonetheless, the biggest thing for me is turning your pain into purpose is, really just understanding that whatever it is, your pain is. Everyone has a pain. And there was a woman I came across who even shared that, I'll never forget this because it stuck with me, that everyone is assigned a trauma of some sort. And it's like your goal to really find your way, how to make, I don't even know necessarily if it's make your way out of it or make, like, that's your starting point, and just making your way out of that, or whatever the case is. And so for me to like to share that about turning your pain into purpose is really just like utilizing that pain, whatever trauma or pain that you've gone through, and knowing that you can turn your story around. And so the same way that when I specifically think about what I shared in my book about dealing with depression and things of that nature, contemplating my life, knowing that experience, I never knew that years later I would be able to be somebody that could be that trusted friend that people talk to and feel comfortable enough to share, like, I'm dealing with this and I really don't know what to do. And so being able to turn that pain into purpose, I can be that comforting friend to help somebody and to encourage them that they're going to make it out, And so that's really what it means. Like, knowing now that whatever you went through, you can help the next person dealing with that same thing, and you can really inspire them and encourage them and really help them get out of that dark place that you were in. And so that's the biggest thing with that, the meaning of that.
That's right. And we're always led to, we go through things. It always has a meaning, right? Everything that we go through has a meaning. And we're always led to pull people out of some of the same circumstances that we've gone through, which is why we've gone through them in the first place, right? Because it's like, how would you know how to help another person if you hadn't had certain experiences, right? How do you help pull somebody up if you haven't had those experiences? So I love that you're talking about, the pain that you've had and the pain that you've gone through. And I know that you go through that in your book as well. So feel free, if you would like to, read an excerpt from your book, feel free to do so. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And this is just what it looks like for those of you listening here. But I think the one that I'll share right away that comes to mind, let me just go to the chapter here. Okay, so let's see.
And as you are queuing up, excuse me, everybody, I was just drinking a little water here. But as you are queuing this up, she has an amazing story, everybody. And, when we go through something traumatic, or when we feel like, life is so heavy, right? It's difficult to pull ourselves out. But once you do, and you realize that, wow, this really has a purpose, and I need to share this message. And this is what Kay has done through her book. And I remember hearing an excerpt from your book on Clubhouse, which I was absolutely amazed. And I didn't even, just the empowering woman that you are now, I had no idea what you had gone through until I came into one of the rooms that you were facilitating and heard the excerpt from your book. So if you're ready, please go ahead.
Absolutely. So the one I'll share is called Breath of Fresh Air. Breathe in all those precious moments that make you feel alive. Breathe in the vibrance of God's creation. His love is written in the skies. Breathe in the wind as it whistles through the leaves. Take in the sound of the birds chirping in the trees. Take a moment just to breathe. Take a moment just to be. Be here. Be present. Gratitude is the secret ingredient that produces this breath of fresh air. Gratitude gives us hope that depression will always fear. Hard times don't last forever, so hold on, my dear. There is hope for you, so please stay here. You've cried and attempted suicide, but I am here to tell you, you will live and not die. You will live and not die. You will live and not die. I stand here as living proof that your pain will give life to you, to give life to others. Pain sheds light on the purpose of your life. Use your pain for a purpose. Take this painful experience and share it with others. May this save your life. May this save a life. So take a moment to breathe in this breath of fresh air.
That's so good.
And
So
that's
good.
actually from the chapter Pain Meets Purpose.
Wow.
So right.
Right. That's so good. And there was so much packed in there. But I love how you started out with the positive and telling them to look at, the beautiful things of life, right? And of course, I'm not saying it verbatim, but I love that you started out there because it was a reminder that life still is beautiful, even through the pain. So I love how you started that. And then, it was almost like a therapy session, to be honest with you, in the way that you presented it. It was like, look at the positive, but then it was also, your life matters.
Right.
Just to summarize what you said, but so powerful, so powerful. I love that. We may have you do another one before we.
I don't mind.
Yeah, so beautiful. So what comes to mind for you as you read those pages, understanding what you've come from, and then how many that you're helping now? What comes to mind when you read that?
I mean, I literally, when I wrote this poem, I was literally sitting outside and I was literally just writing and looking at everything I was talking about, like the birds and like everything, and just thinking about how grateful I am to just be here and, not giving up. I feel like I just think back on all the moments that I felt like giving up, and, to know that, these were once poems in my notebook. I a lot of these poems, these are poems I've collected over the years as a kid. I started writing poetry at 9 years old.
Wow.
And so a lot of the different times that I actually was dealing with depression and stuff like that, I would write these different poems and things. So this is literally from my childhood up until this point. So even as you go through the book, you'll realize that they start to get longer and a little bit more in depth, but some of them were just little small excerpts and stuff like that. And like I said too, with sharing prayers, because all of it was like my way of expressing and my way of escaping what I was going through. And one of the ways that I did that too is by praising God, which is why, that's a whole nother conversation. We could talk about it. The name of the book, the Psalms of Flowerz. It's literally because of that experience that I had too, dealing with those different times. I would literally cry out to God, like, why am I dealing with this depression? I was in my childhood dealing with depression all throughout my childhood, and I never understood it, as a kid. Which is why, like, I'm really big on teaching. It's so like advocating for youth mental health and stuff like that, because there's so many children that really don't know how to deal with the things that they go through too. So I think that's important. But so for me, one of the ways that I would express, I would think about it like those days that like I would literally be crying out to God. I would be writing poetry. I would be praising him, because I know like this is temporary. I know that you put me here for a purpose, and this must be a test. This must be a test of my faith. Like you must have something for me. Like I'm dealing with all of this. Like there must be something better. And so like I just give God all the glory with this, because honestly, like the title and everything literally was a revelation in the middle of the night. I don't even remember what the original name of this book was going to be, but I woke up one day and I literally like right away, I had an influx of poems that I just wrote down, and different things, titles, names, like all these different things I just started writing down. And then the name of the book, I'm like, oh, wow. Like, okay. Like, that's why in my book, I give a lot of, reference to God. It doesn't matter what your beliefs are. I just share. I share from my personal experience and how this has helped me. My faith has helped me push through. And so that, that wasn't the only thing, but that was one of the biggest things. How
many poems are in your book?
I know it has to be over 25, I believe. I don't even recall all of the amount. Yeah, I don't recall the amount, but I have I break it down into different chapters on what
Yeah.
they're on.
I want to say too, how remarkable, even as a young girl,
Mm-hmm.
that you decided to praise God in all of it, and that you decided to write it down.
Right.
Because how therapeutic is that, to be able to write these things down and see it for yourself as a young child. I mean, you said from 9 years old
Yeah.
on, like, you know, most kids at that age can't really decipher really what's happening, right? And maybe looking for a way out, and you were looking to, relieve yourself in some way that felt good to you. So, I just want to commend you for that. And for coming to this point as an adult woman and saying, I'm going to take all that I have scribed throughout the years and now share, right?
Right.
My own vulnerabilities, right? Because when you're a kid and you're scribing, it's so innocent and it's so natural. And for you to be able to do that, I just commend you. I just wanted to tell you that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was one of those, I don't know how to explain it, but I had such a huge, incredible like love for God. Like, I don't know where it came from, but I was one of those kids. Like, I'll just share this really briefly because now that I think about it, I was one of those kids that, like, I had such a desire to learn more of, like, about a higher power. Like, I always felt like there was more to life, and I never understood it, but I was always like so curious, and I would read, and I would, just so many different things. And
Yeah.
so, like, you'll see that throughout my book, like, oh, why is it that I mean, this is my experiences. This is what I shared,
Yeah.
and it's, oh, if I told you guys everything, that all the different phenomenal,
So
unexplainable situations that have happened in my life that,
So I have to
yeah,
ask because I've had those moments too. And,
yeah,
people that don't go through, people that understand, right, that there's a higher power, then they understand what you talk about when you say you've gone through something so profound and
right.
unexplainable, right? But tell us one of the experiences that you would want to share that was profound for you.
I think one of the more recent ones that I shared about oh, actually, no. That was one of them. One of them, when I told you the revelation about the name of this book.
Yeah.
But the one of the most powerful ones that actually is why I do what I do and why I'm still here today is from me feeling like coming to a point where I felt like I was at the end of it. I felt like there was really no hope for me to keep going.
Mhm.
And I remember so vividly, like, just like how down and depressed I was, and how, I tried to call someone, that I thought I could turn to, and they didn't pick up, type thing. And
Mhm.
so I was really down, and really had nobody to turn to. And so at that time, I remember, like, I remember I was just um, thinking and reflecting over pictures and images and times in my life, because I was at that point and, like, I'm done. But
Mhm.
my life was like flashing before my eyes, type thing.
Mhm.
I was just pictures and memories and things. And I remember, um, and I'm saying it's the voice of God, because I don't know what else, but I know for sure it was God, because I remember God told me, not to go through what I was originally planning to do,
Mhm.
but to trust that He has placed me on this earth for a reason, and
Mhm.
that somebody in this world needs me.
Yeah.
And from that day, when I was reminded in that very moment that I wanted to end it all, I remember that very moment that, okay, okay, God, somebody in this world needs me. Okay, there is a reason I need to stay here. Show
Mhm.
me what that is,
Yeah.
And so that's the biggest reason why I'm still here and why I do what I do. That
Yeah.
was the biggest revelation of my life. Why
Yeah.
I need to keep going.
Yeah.
And fast forward to today, I'm married. I have a beautiful daughter. And I'm grateful. You know, there's so many people in my life that I've come across, including yourself and so many others. And so I know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, which is how we turn, you know, our pain into purpose.
Yeah. And what greater gift than a child, right?
Right.
For God to show you that somebody needs you, right? Because
and her name literally means sent from God. Her name is Osinachi.
Ooh,
So,
yes.
So she's literally a gift from God.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So how huge is that? You know, just for God to bless you with a daughter. But I know that you are here coaching also. So that there are so many more that need you. And I've heard you in those spaces where, you know, you are pouring into people also. So I just want to put that out there too, because I hear you talking on Clubhouse and I can tell, I will say this about you. I can tell how deep it is, right? It's not surface when you're speaking. And I'm talking about on any subject that I've heard you speak on. It's not surface. So I love that about you. So I had to say that too. We're going to go to a quick commercial break and then we're going to come back. I want you to read another excerpt from your book, if you don't mind. And then I want to talk about the go forward, you know, why affirmations, because I know you're big on affirmations. Talk about your podcast. Let's get into all the things that you are currently doing now where you are helping so many. So we're going to take that quick commercial break. Everybody out there, don't go anywhere. You want to make sure that you come back and hear another excerpt from Kay's book and just hear more about what she has to talk about. All right, here we go. Hello, everybody, and we are back. And I just have to mention the amazing Dano from the Weekly Dose of Dano right here on Trajectory TV on the E360 TV network. So just wanted to mention that was his commercial for his show. So make sure that you go on over on Thursday evenings and check it out. So we are back with the beautiful Kay Flowerz, and we just want to talk to her some more about all the amazing things that she is doing now, how she has turned her own pain into passion and purpose, and she does it so meaningfully. I just want to say that again, everybody, because she's the real deal. She pours into people so much from her heart. So I just want you to read another excerpt, and then we're going to talk about some of the things that you're currently doing. And I think you're on mute there, so if you want to unmute your phone, there we go, and read us another excerpt.
Absolutely. So I'll share this one. So it's called Dear Princess. Dear Princess, you have been birthed into a generation that isn't all the way right. I wish only the best for you, that you grow and get better with time, that you won't give in to everything that the media throws at you, telling you that your beauty is in makeup and your booty has to stay caked up so that these boys will give you a rate up. The media will teach you that it's okay to be fast, and though being fast will get a fine guy's permission, as you grow into a queen, you'll get all the attention that you seek from a true king. The Bible says that he who finds a wife finds a good thing, and dear princess, you're that good thing that he'll say he found. You're the only one that can truly hold him down and hold the crown. You're royalty, so don't settle for anything less than God's best for you, princess.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm going to give you some applause right here. Oh my gosh, that's so good.
Thank you.
You know what I was thinking about as you were reading that too. I was thinking about, your daughter, a
Mhm.
little bit later in life, because I know she's still a baby right now, but being able
Yeah.
to pick up this book
Hmm.
and read, and have this legacy of her mom, because that's the one thing I love about books, right? Books
Hmm.
are legacy, right? Books allow
Right.
generations to identify with, their family members and their ancestors, and it goes on and on. So just thinking about, your daughter picking up this book and being able to read, your words while you're alive, and then once you've gone, right? And then her to be able to pass it down to her children, and
Right.
phenomenal, phenomenal. So did you write that one in particular with her in mind?
Yeah, way before I even had her.
Wow.
This was years ago.
Wow.
Um, Years ago when I wrote this one, and she was definitely in mind. I said, one day I'm gonna read this one because she was definitely on my mind when I was writing this. I'm like, if God gives me a daughter, let me write this for her. And lo
Wow.
and behold, she's my first. So,
Yeah. I
but
love
yeah, I actually have a few different poems. It's pretty much a Queen series of
Mhm.
poems that I did, um of different things, because I think it's just so important, to teach our girls, our daughters and things, to love themselves, and to carry themselves like
Yeah.
their royalty that they are, because a
Yeah.
lot of times we may not have someone pouring into us and telling us our worth. And that kind of ties into what I do about with affirmations.
Yeah.
A lot of times we don't have father figures or people in our lives that pour into us. And so, yeah, Dear Princess is definitely for the girls.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I mean, I see that, at like women's events, women's empowerment events, right? And you
Yes.
reading these poems, that Queen series can go so far. So I'm going to ask you to read another one just because you got me curious now about the Queen series, and I'm going to have to go
Okay.
get the book.
Yeah.
But please
Well,
read another one.
let me share this one. This one's actually the anthem for it.
Okay.
The anthem that I usually read or perform, because I would do spoken word. I used to,
Mhm.
I probably will do it in the future again, but when I would perform, I
Yeah.
would do this one. So the Queen Culture Anthem. So it goes like this. It's time to take a stand. All the queens hand in hand. No more floating in the back, splitting sinners where it's at. We are queens favored by the King of Kings. We are called to lead and set an example for our sisters to see.
Mhm.
Queen culture, we don't behave like the rest. Classy, not fassy, it's God who we rep. Queen culture is seen in the way we dress, living a life to please God till we take our last breath. Queen culture, let our words be lean, quick to listen, slow to speak. Let our thoughts be clean. Queen
Mhm.
culture, we're changing up the standards from here on out. We're gonna settle for nothing less than queen culture.
Yeah.
In this crazy generation, say it loud, we'll make a change in this nation. Queen culture is a way of life. Tell me if you wouldn't know we love Jesus Christ. Queen culture, say it, queen
Mhm.
culture, live it, queen culture. Let's get it.
Yes.
That's
Woo!
anthem.
Kay Flowerz. I absolutely
Thank
love
you.
it. Yes, everybody out there, put your hands together and make sure you go get the book.
Yes, check it out.
The website will be on the show page, and we'll show it here before we, oh, there it goes. It's right there. You can go get the book at www.kflowers with a Z at the end.com. Make sure that you do. Absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal. I mean, you got me rocking. And you like I could hear melody, right? Like as you were speaking,
Yes.
I love that though. And I love how you talked about in the princess one, and even the queen culture reminded me of this, but to have our own culture, right? As queen,
Mhm.
because in the
That's
princess
it.
one, you talked about, what the media portrays, right? And social
Mhm.
media, and having
Right.
to try to fit into this design that
Mhm.
society has given women, right? Particularly
Right.
Black women too, I will say, right? So I love that you are, saying we have our own culture. Us
That's
queens,
it.
we have our own culture.
That's it. We
Yes,
don't have to be like everyone else. We don't have to do what the media tells us to do. It's
that's
okay to be different.
that's right.
And it's okay to continue to hold your head high and know that you deserve the best. You don't have to settle. You
That's
don't have to
right.
settle.
That's
you know
right.
And
I
so, yeah,
love it. I absolutely love it. So I want to shift a little bit into
absolutely.
what you're doing in terms of, because in your bio you talked about affirmations and action. And I
Yes.
love that because it's great to affirm yourself, but if you don't put the action behind it,
Mhm.
nothing changes, right?
Right.
So talk to us a little bit about why affirmations are important and then why it's so important to put the action with it.
Yes, absolutely. So, affirmations are so important to get our mindset in the right place each
Mhm.
and every day, especially when it comes to, um, there may be some certain things that you may be dealing with, like, for example, with confidence, or, of course, dealing with, just limiting beliefs or what have you. So, it's so important that we rewire our brains and our mindset to hear positive statements out loud. We are repeating these in the mirror, saying them out loud to ourselves, writing them down. And it really starts to, like I said, rewire your brain and help you to think more positively. And so I think the aspect of it, the aspect of it with putting into action, is more so when it comes to your goals and your dreams. So I believe not only affirming yourself, but affirming, a lot of people think just affirmations is I am beautiful, I'm loved, which is great. You are, and knowing those things, yes,
Mhm.
do that. But also utilizing affirmations for your specific goals and the things that you're striving for. Like, for example, this book, I had
Mhm.
affirmations about getting my book published and people being inspired and powerfully impacted by my book. So all of these,
Mm.
you're speaking it into life, but you're also taking action to, well, number one, I have to write my book. I
Yeah.
have to publish it. I have to get it edited. I have to do all these things.
Yeah.
So that's where I come in as a coach, as a certified life coach, and I
Mhm.
help women manifest their dreams through affirmations and that aligned action.
I love that. So I love that you talked about it's not just the I am strong, I am beautiful, right?
Yes,
I am love. It's
so
not
much
just
more.
that.
So
Yeah.
much
And I
more.
love that
Yeah.
you talked about kind of like a cause and effect, like, because
Hmm.
you mentioned your book and how it's going to impact people and
Hmm.
putting those into affirmations, like really.
Right.
So talk a little bit more about why that's so important to, you're changing it up because I think people, when they think about affirmations, they think about the I am love, I am beautiful, I am
Right.
strong. Yeah. So talk
And
about, yeah, go ahead.
no, I think you're absolutely right. Like that, I mean, that's kind of where people, they just don't know as much about it, but it's so much more. But I think that part is so important too, because so many people are dealing with things like feeling like they're, they can't really use their voice and stuff. So I feel like affirmations as well help people like myself who felt, at times like their voice didn't matter.
Yeah.
It felt like you can't really speak up. Like, it helps you to start speaking up and speaking out loud, and your subconscious mind is hearing you say these things. So the negative thoughts and stuff, it helps to like, it helps you to like start to believe it. So at first, obviously, it's going to be a little weird if you're new to it. It's going to feel uncomfortable and like, why am I saying all this? But if you think about it, when you hear people, or bullies, we'll use bullies as an example, or different people who are say these nasty things to you,
Mhm.
and it's repeating in your mind, right? So it's the same way with the affirmations. You're repeating it and you're hearing it so much that you start to believe it. Same way people believe in what their bully said about them. When
Mhm.
you start to change it and you realize that you are the author, like you have the ability to change the story,
Yeah.
and the thoughts that you had about yourself or other people had about you, you could start to really take control over that. And
Yeah.
so with the goals, I think that part is so important because I mean, so many times we feel like, oh, like I don't really have time for this, or I don't even know if I could really do this. I'm not enough. I'm not like this person. I'm not at this stage. So I
Mhm.
feel like it's so important, like with our goals and stuff, to like speak life into our goals. Like if you say you want to be a singer, a dancer, all these different things, it's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible for you. So speak life into yourself,
Yeah.
and write down those plans to start taking towards becoming that singer, that songwriter, that dancer, figuring out what connections you need to make, all these different things,
Yeah.
being able to visualize it. That's where, I believe in manifestation. Like you can truly manifest these different things that you desire,
Yeah.
and for me, like my belief in God, and like the power of manifestation, I mean, that's a
Yeah.
whole game changer,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I think it's so important. Understand your words are powerful. Like if you don't get anything else out of this is why I do the podcast affirmations. And that we're just getting started with that podcast. The ones I've shared is some previous things, but we're about to go into season 2 with my podcast. There's so much more, debt coming, like in-depth topics coming for that.
Wow. I love it. So yeah, so with the affirmations, I love everything that you have to say about that, because it's not these cookie cutter statements that you say that you don't believe. But here's the big part about it, right? The belief comes with it, right? And understanding that you can do everything that you say, right? And the power of the mind, right? To be able to bring those to fruition and manifest what you actually believe, because you got to get to the point where you believe. And then once you believe, there's nothing that you can't do. Right.
The other part of that is what I kind of shared in that poem too, like the power of gratitude. I think people, that's a really big key factor to all of this, with affirmations, with understanding your purpose too, like being grateful. Even though there might have been all these different things that you may have gone through and things like that, be grateful that you are, that you're coming out of it, being grateful that you that you were able to see another day, being grateful for the different things around you and the connections that come your way, the opportunities. So I think understanding just the power of gratitude and belief is so important. Visualizing your goals, visualizing the things you're saying, your more powerful self, thinking about, okay, I made it be this for me, right? At the time when I was dealing with a lot of depression in my life, like feeling like, like that, I mean, so much more to that, but nonetheless, understanding and seeing myself out of that, like, this is not going to be my destiny. I don't have to be sad. I don't have to, I don't have to live like this. I can, push forward, and I can keep going, and I don't have to, give up. And so I think that's a really powerful thing too. Of course, on this other side of dealing with mental health issues, of course, having the support of professionals. I had that, and I encourage people who may be dealing with depression to also seek professional guidance, because that's going to help with it. You visualizing all of that. The support help.
Yeah. And I love that you mentioned that too, because, oftentimes people feel like, therapy is not, certain cultures too, right? They say therapy is not the route, but it's so good to get a good therapist, get good coaches, get good guidance that can help you deal with your, whatever it is that you're going through, trauma, pain, whatever that is, to help you decipher, right? So that you can get to the point where you're saying where you're coming from a place of gratitude, because you mentioned that, and that is so key, right? And then where you're saying affirmations that you believe, and where you understand your worth and your value as a human being. So thank you for that.
And like I said in this book too, the power of prayer. I think that is so huge. Whatever your spiritual beliefs are, mine is the believing in God and prayer. That is, being able to meditate as well. Like I think when we work on these different aspects of our life, like our spiritual, our mental, when it all comes together and we find balance in it, I feel like that's when we're the most effective.
Oh, you're so speaking the language. Yes. And that it is a balance, right? And it takes all of those to come together to truly be a healthy person. Spirit. Absolutely. That's why this is called The Whole Living Show, because we don't just look at one thing. We don't look at one thing. You have to bring them all together to truly be a healthy person, to truly have abundance. And I'm not talking about money, everybody. I'm talking about the wealth of life and fulfillment. That's what I'm talking about, right? So it is not just about finances. Finance is just a piece that's going to come. That's just with it, right? Absolutely. But the wealth and the abundance has to be there here and here first, right? Before you can get to all the outside things. Those things are great, but you want wealth and abundance within your mind and your heart. You want true fulfillment. So I love that. You are absolutely amazing. I want you to just talk about some of the things that you're doing before we have to end the show, what you have to offer as a coach, let everybody out there know, what you're doing currently.
Yes. So currently, yes, with the coaching, I am offering working with me one-on-one, going through coaching, accountability. Really, if you need help with your mindset, getting in that right place, letting go of those limiting beliefs, and really, like I said, manifesting your dreams and your goals, whatever that is for yourself. If it's something, finding your voice or writing your book or whatever it is with your social media, that's another aspect that I'm going into now. As well as helping people affirm success on their social media, having them doing Instagram makeovers, I call it, aka it's like Instagram audits. So helping them being able to attract their ideal audience and attract their ideal clients. Our social media is like our digital resume. So there's one aspect of that, like I said, I can help you with your social media, and the other aspect is helping you with your mindset and helping you with your goals, manifesting them. As I said, I'm another name that people call me is I'm your affirmations bestie. So helping you manifest your dream life and through that personalized affirmations and line actions. So definitely connect with me on my website. There's a link there. My podcast is all connected on my website and my book. So definitely check it out. And so much more is coming. I'm just excited for the things ahead. So definitely be on the lookout and follow me on Instagram for, updates, different things that come up.
Yeah, and I love your Instagram too. I love the covers that you do, by the way.
And that's what I do as an Instagram expert too. I help you get, if you want to stand out on your social media, that's where the Instagram makeover comes to. You want to stand out in your industry. You want, I'm really creative when it comes to that stuff too. The digital fun stuff.
I love it. I love it. So everybody, you have heard it here. We have the beautiful Carol Ruffin and the amazing Charles Smith also tuned in. So we thank you so much for joining us here and commenting as well, joining in the show. It's been absolutely amazing, Kay. And as I told you, everybody, she's just the real deal. So deep, so powerful. And I just love it. I really do. I want you to give people final words, what you want to leave, maybe somebody out there who is just feeling like, I don't want to move on, or I just don't know what to do. What do you want to leave with that person?
Yeah. So for the person who is currently dealing with whatever it is that you're going through, and you're at this point where you just want to throw in the towel. And I think the biggest encouragement I want to give you is knowing that, as I shared, like, there is light at the end of the tunnel and there is hope for you. So understanding too, like, what you're going through right now is temporary. It's not permanent. I know it feels like things are crashing down and a lot of things are happening. And it could be overwhelming at times, but knowing that, you're gonna see it out. You're gonna see it out on the other side of this, and start even now. What I said about the power of your mindset and everything, and prayer, like visualizing yourself out of the situation you're currently in, and future self, the different things you want to do, whether it's writing a book, whether it's singing, dancing, knowing that it's possible for you, and you'll be able to look back and have a story and inspire someone else. So just keep going. Don't stop.
Yeah, I love it. I am so just enamored by everything that you shared. And I absolutely love you anyway, because it just comes from a real place. And I have to keep saying that, because I just know that about you. I felt that from the very beginning. It comes from a very real place, everybody. So if you are looking for a coach who's going to help you get there in terms of, getting yourself in that right mindset, affirming yourself, being able to show gratitude and understand your value to help you get to the other side, like she just mentioned, help you get to that other side so that you can look back at yourself and say, I did that one, right? I did that. And now it's time for me to help somebody else. So we appreciate you, Kay. We love you. Make sure that you go to her website, everybody, www.kayflowers.com. You can get her book. You can get the link for her podcast. You want to make sure that you tune into her. Her social media handles are there as well. And we will put the website in the show page so that you can click her link and get it right here from the Whole Living Show. I appreciate you so much. I thank you for being here and joining us on the show, for sharing who you are, for your amazing book and sharing some excerpts from your book. It was so powerful. So powerful.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And take care of that beautiful baby girl that you have.
Absolutely.
And
And shout out to my husband, my family, everyone who's watching and supporting. So I appreciate you guys.
absolutely. We thank you for sharing her with us tonight,
Yes.
family.
So
So
much.
yes, we appreciate everybody out there and we thank you. And listen, tune in to the Whole Living Show next
Yes.
week. We will be here at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We love you. We appreciate you all. And we will see you next week.
Bye, guys.